Hello and welcome to this long overdue The Horror of It All vlog, Halloween edition. So I just got off work and so my Halloween vacation starts right now. And I'm gonna be going to thrift stores. I'm gonna be looking for all the Halloween stuff for sale at thrift stores. There's three good Goodwills. There's one over there in Hillsboro. There's one going across the bridge into Pinellas Park, and there's a really nice one down Central in St. Pete. Really big Goodwill that's always stocked with spooky things. So I'm going to be doing that, and one of my Halloween traditions is if you've read Bram Stoker's Dracula, and if you haven't, you know you're stupid, is that the main character, Jonathan Harker, goes on this journey from London to Transylvania to Dracula's castle. Along the way, he stops at an inn and eats chicken paprika. So one of my Halloween traditions in honor of Dracula, the greatest classic horror of them all, is to make chicken paprika. It's very easy to do. So for 5 minutes, you just take a pot and for 5 minutes you brown some onions, and then you add the paprika that you just get from the shaker and mix that all up. And then you add the chicken, and you can add a little bit of water to help with the sauce or some chicken broth, and you just let that simmer for an hour, and it cooks your chicken. And it goes great over rice, or I might use bow tie pasta. I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do, but every year around Halloween, because of Dracula, I make chicken paprika. So let's get into this. It's been ripped, so I'm going to rip it again! Let's see what happens here. So, what I've got to part of my Halloween time will be spent with the Sci-Fi Collection Volume 1 and the Sci-Fi Collection Volume 2. So, a brief introduction. If you grew up in Tampa and you don't know what I'm about to talk about, you're an idiot! But, okay, so if you grew up in Tampa, there was this legendary TV show called Creature Feature with horror host Dr. Paul Bearer, and he would introduce movies and say wonderful, witty, sarcastic jokes. And I must have been 5 or 7, sometime way back in the 70s. I had a full set of hair. But anyway, in Volume 1 of this collection was my introduction to Creature Feature, WTOG Channel 44 at 2 p.m., Dr. Paul Bearer. The first one I remember watching was the Tarantula, so I got this set to remember the good old days. With this one, you get Tarantula on Creature Feature, the Mole People, the Incredible Shrinking Man. Those all three I saw on Creature Feature. Monolith Monsters and Monster on the Campus, I'm not too sure about those. And I got Volume 2 because Dr. Cyclops was on it. Cult of the Cobra, I'm not sure about. Land Unknown. Deadly Mantis was indeed on Creature Feature. And if you've read Stephen King's Danse Macabre, you know that he writes about when you see the Deadly Mantis, he knocks over this truck, and you can clearly see the word Tonka written on it. And the Leech Woman, not sure about the Leech Woman, but you get 5 movies with that set. And there's all kinds of things going on. Busch Gardens has Hollow Screams. It's only an hour and a half drive to Orlando, and for that you can get Universal Halloween Horror Nights with The Shining. And then there's that. There's Screamageddon, this huge horror theme park in Dade City. Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. I'm giving a shout out to everybody working hard in the horror industry. And my arms are gone, but now they're back. Anyway. So I've been doing a lot of shopping recently, and picked up some things from Walmart and whatnot. Now Walmart, alright, so my 2 favorite writers growing up were H.P. Lovecraft, who I read first, and the second writer I read was Stephen King. I think I was 10 years old when I saw The Shining. To me it's a classic, you know. He claims it's not, the movie is not like the book, blah, 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 but I still like it. Just because he has an ego doesn't mean it's going to ruin it for me. I mean, this is the one of those early movies that gave me a nightmare because of the twin girls and all that blood that came flowing down the freaking hallway. It's the stuff of nightmares back in the day when it came on HBO. And in high school, I read Misery, so the movie was $5, and my mom still doesn't forgive me because we went together to go see Misery, and James Caan was laying in the bed. Kathy Bates is the deranged fan. Took a sledgehammer to his leg. Bam! And I thought it was good fun, but my mother was terrified. I was at Target. This was really cheap. Now, the George Romero is my favorite. If you have the funds, and you should have the funds. What the hell is the matter with you? But if you do have the funds, the George Romero one, there's a recent edition, Before Night and no, After Night and Before Dawn, because I can't think right now because I'm Halloweeny, and so the Crazies. It's worth it to get that new Blu-ray box set for the Crazies. The other two are good, but so this is a Crazies remake. I saw it a few years back. You know, it was all right for what it was. My all-time favorite friend. I've got numerous editions of the Frankenstein Legacy Collection, but I got this one on Blu-ray so I could see Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman on Blu-ray, one of my all-time favorites, and every year I watch this one because it's a crack-up. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, and they're all on this glorious Blu-ray. You can just pick the ones you want. Yeah, so there's that one. Abbott and Costello meet the Mummy. And I have numerous versions of Dracula, from the 1922 Nosferatu, the Bela Lugosi Dracula, the Frank Langengeri, or whatever his name is, the Universal one from the 70s, and Horror Dracula. Probably after the Bela Lugosi one, my favorite is the Horror Dracula. But here's one I haven't had until it was cheap online. So I picked up Jack Palance as Dracula, the Dan Curtis one from, Dark Shadows, creator of Night Gallery, others. And in high school, we went to go see this movie, and I made fun of it, Mystery Science style, with a cheesy monster rap. I love Monster Rats, and I know you do too. But it was $5, so a trip down memory lane again for me. And this was one. This is a Disney cartoon that came. It used to come on TV along with It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, and this one is absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend it highly enough. Bing Crosby does the singing for the Ichabod, the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. There's some terrifying moments for a child where the Ichabod is trying to flee through a cemetery and ghosts-filled forest. But it was sheer magical when I was a kid, so I recommend that one highly. And I love bargain bins at Walmart, so I can pick up the Horror 10 movie collection. With a lot of these are probably public domain. You get all these that I've never heard of. Descendant, The Legend of Sorrow Creek, 7 Nights of Darkness, Empty Rooms, 976 Evil 2, Midnight's Child, Hurt the Cry, Beethoven, and The Cellar Door. So part of my time will be not getting any sleep to watch that one. Oh, shout out. If you happen to be living in Tampa or the local area, I highly recommend the Tampa Theater. October 28th, tomorrow at 4:30, is showing the original Boris Karloff Frankenstein, so you can get your Karloff on for Halloween. And yeah, so my second favorite author after Lovecraft, well, actually probably third. It went Lovecraft, Poe, and this guy. So I was at a relative's house in Kansas City, of all places, and I saw the book, and I asked to borrow it, and it was one of those, yeah, I'll return it to you as soon as I'm done. I never did. It was for Pet Sematary, and when the movie came out, this was a great movie when this came out. I mean, I loved it. So that's about it. So I've been doing some Halloween decorating. It's all over the house. If you've seen my candy ball video, uh, there is the candy ball video. So I'm gonna keep the vlogs going for Halloween, and whenever I find some cool stuff, I'll include the audience of all one and a half of you, whatever the stupid number is. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing some more vlogs. Expect a vlog of my Halloween decorations. So I got to do a Don Knotts like, I'm scared of everything, Andy video. And so once that's done, be sure to clue you in. On a sad note, there is a serial killer in Seminole Heights, which is a neighborhood in Tampa, and I really wish the cops would nail this idiot, because I don't want to see something on Halloween. It's always a fun time. It's always you should be able to feel safe to take your kids trick-or-treating. If you want to go see a movie at the Tampa Theater because they're going to be playing Halloween, and they're going to have a Halloween beer and wine bar before the movie, so you could trade shots with Michael Myers. But, you want to have a safe time. So hopefully this serial killer doesn't ruin our fun. So I'm going to enjoy my Halloween weekend. And to you, for now, I say bye! Andy!